Ooh, like, not, ooh, like, I can't believe it. And she was like, I thought it was so and so. I thought it was, I'm just gonna say his name. I thought it was. So what's up, you guys? It's Chunky here, and today I have for you a story time. And today's story time video is brought to you by Modelo, which I'm gonna be sipping on today. Yes, Modelo, nice cold Modelo. Cheers. I'm just kidding. It's not brought to you by Modelo. I mean, I wish, but you know. All right, so let's get into it. So I know y'all probably seen the title like, Chunky, you have a secret lover? What? You got yourself a Sancho? No, sorry guys, I didn't get a Sancho. But this story time is gonna kind of tie into my first pregnancy, which is my oldest daughter. It kind of has to do with her father and how I was kind of like stuck between two lovers, which really you'll see, just sit tight, get yourself a snack, you know, kick back, get yourself a beer, a blunt, whatever you do, whatever your choice, get both if you want, and just relax, you know, relax, and let's get to vibing. So, all right, so when I got pregnant with my first daughter, I was 19, and I was kind of like in limbo at that time. And limbo meaning I really wasn't doing anything with my life. Actually, I think at 18 I really was like scared, and I didn't know what I was gonna do in my life. 19, I did enroll in college, but I was very scared, and I didn't think that I was gonna be able to get through it. Like, I didn't think I was gonna be able to get through college. I was really scared. I did start classes and shit, and you know, it was just like, I was just so scared. I was like, oh my god, like, I'm doing this to please my mom and my dad, but I just kind of like felt in my heart that I didn't know if it was for me, you know. I didn't know if college was for me, but I was going to classes. I was taking child development classes while I was low-key developing a child in myself, and I didn't know. But that's not what the story is about. So the story is about, you know, who the fuck was I pregnant by? Who was I pregnant by? Nobody knew. I came out, you know, I told my biological mother first. And I didn't tell, because I was raised by, you know, my tia. My aunt and my uncle raised me. They're more of my parents than my real parents will ever be. But, you know, at the time, I was still talking to my biological mother, still talking to my biological father. I was kind of in limbo with that situation too. You know, now currently I don't talk to my biological mother, and I don't talk to my biological father. But back then I did, because I was trying, because I wanted my biological parents. Like, no matter how much my parents, the parents that raised me, loved me and did everything, and I still loved them, there's something in your heart that still just wants your biological parents, you know? I wanted the best of both worlds. I wanted my parents to be there, the parents that raised me to be there for me, that wanted me to do the right thing, and then my fun parents that didn't give a fuck and were like, we're here we're here if you need us. You know what I mean? That's what I wanted. So I was talking to both parties at the time, and I came out to my biological mother like, hey, I'm pregnant. And I didn't come out to her you know, that I'm pregnant because I trusted her. I came out to her because I knew she had a big old mouth, and I knew that she was gonna flap it all over, and she could do the dirty work, you know what I mean? So that's kind of like what I told her, because I'm like, you know what, let me just tell my biological mother, because she has a big old mouth. She's gonna go ahead and tell my aunt. She's gonna tell the whole motherfucking world, so I don't have to, you know? So that's the only reason why. And that's some funny ass shit if you think about it. Like, I gotta take a drink to that, because that's some funny ass shit. So, excuse me if I burp in this video. Well, that makes you burp. So, all this is coming out that I'm pregnant, but who's the baby daddy? Nobody knows. I know who my baby daddy is, but nobody else knows. Now, here's the thing. I was in this sort of secret relationship, which, I mean, you could call it secret relationship. You could call it, you know, booty call if you want, you know, whatever you want to choose to call it. Really, I don't give a fuck. Booty call, whatever. We was getting it in. But I was young, and well, you know, we actually were fooling around since I was like 17 years old. So 17, 18, like a couple of years we were fooling around. And nobody knew. Nobody like had, I think my aunt had an idea, which my mom, just call her my mom. I'm gonna call my aunt my mom, and my biological mother my biological mother. So, you know, people kind of had like an idea, but I never confirmed it. I never said anything. I think I never said anything because I know that my mom is very fucking nosy. Like, she's very nosy. And I care a lot about my mom, and I didn't want her to worry about me. And I didn't want her to like kind of know I was getting it in, because that's kind of like, it feels dirty, you know, to like talk about that with your mom. And then I didn't want my other mom, because she's fucking really nosy. Like, my aunt is like kind of, well, my mom is like kind of nosy, and my biological mother is like a lot nosy. So it was just two nosy ass women that I didn't want like to be all over me about it, you know what I mean? So I kind of like wanted to be quiet about it. And then, you know, just once people hear, like, and then too, like, how are you gonna introduce that you got a booty call? Like, how are you gonna introduce? Like, it's just it's nothing to introduce. Like, it's nothing to say, like, I'm fooling around with this man. Like, I don't know what we are, but we're something, you know? And but I had another person that was in my life as well. And this person, we had like no sexual ties. Like, we were not being intimate, okay? So, but everybody could see that we had a connection, and everybody's seen it because we were more public. So I had these two men, one that I was being with intimate, and one that I was being like very openly connected with in front of people. So people were maybe assuming that I may have some type of relationship with this guy. Okay, now let me explain this other man. This is confusing, okay? I don't even know. I didn't write this down. I'm not reading a prompter. Like, this is like a lot, okay? And I gotta bring it up like vomit. So just, you know, bear with me. Let me take another drink so I could. Okay, so I have these two men in my life. One I'm being with intimately, you know, that people don't really know about. And I have another man that everybody sees. So the reason why everybody kind of seen him is because he was a friend of the family, and I grew up with him when I was little. His mom grew up with my all my aunts, and she knows my aunts, my uncles. She grew up around the family, so she's a friend of the family. Her son, okay? So I'm sorry, okay. You know what? This beer is going to bring out emotions in me that I don't need to be brought out. And the only reason why I'm getting emotional is because he is no longer with us. So I would like to say rest in peace to him. And he knows I love him. So anyways, So this man is a friend of the family. You know, we grew up together since we were little, and we've always been kind of like, you know, a love-hate relationship, like playing around, kind of like brother sister, stuff like that. But we always had some type of connection. We've always had like some type of connection. And you know, we get older, he moves in the back house of my aunt, well, my mom. And you know, we kind of just always had this like connection. And we've always told each other that we loved each other, like straight up. Like he would tell me, I love you, like I love you. And I'd be like, I love you too, like I love you, like I have some type of connection with you. We never took it anywhere other than just like being like flirty. You know, he was a big flirt, he flirted with everybody, so he flirted with me. But I would kind of like reject his flirtiness and like reflect it as like, shut the fuck up, like don't fucking flirt with me, like don't do that, like no, you know what I mean? But we still like loved each other. So you know, we had like this, like people seeing this connection we had, okay? And I guess people thought that maybe we could have had something going on. And the only reason why I say that is because people were assuming that I was pregnant by him, okay? My biological mother assumed, people were buzzing about it when I came out with the pregnancy. Because they didn't know about this other man. And to be honest, they knew of this man, which was ultimately my baby's father. They knew of him, okay? My biological mother, he was actually her neighbor. So, and she knew that he had a little thing for me, but she was kind of like, like, no, not my daughter, like she's way too good for you, because she knew he was no good. Like he was older, way older than me, and he was like a bit of a thug, if you know what I mean. And you know, my mom would talk to his mom, and his mom would just say things like, oh, he did this, he did that. She was always complaining about him. And you know, my mom just knew that he was no good. And she was just like, you know, my biological mother wasn't much of a mother, but I think she kind of was like, I think in that sense she was kind of like, no, not him, mija, like not him. And that was kind of like, I was like, you know what, like honestly, I think, wow, okay, if I wouldn't have listened to her, my daughter wouldn't have been here. But it's like, he was like no good. But we live and we learn, okay? So I was just very naive and very dumb and very like, you know, I was at the age of where I felt like I needed somebody to satisfy my needs. Like, let's just keep it all the way 100, okay? Like, I know people might not want to hear this, it might, you know, if my family watches this, it might make them feel uncomfortable, but it's real shit. You know, I never say, you know, nasty things that are way out there. This is some real shit. You're a teenager, you feel things, and you feel things in your body that you need to let it out. You need to experiment. You need to, like, basically, it was like my first sexual relationship with a man. It wasn't my first. He was not my first, okay? I did have, you know, I did lose my virginity before I started my sexual relationship with him. But it was only that one guy one time. I wasn't like a very promiscuous girl, you know, despite what other people may have thought about me, because I was very, like, you know, like kind of crazy, like I am now. I'm kind of crazy, and I was kind of like, you know, kind of a little wild, you know. I dressed kind of like, you know, back when I was a teenager, 16, 17 years old, I dressed kind of like, I showed my figure and I wore a lot of makeup, and I was just, what a regular teenager did, and I partied a lot, and I did, talk to guys on the phone and stuff like that. So, but despite all of that, in reality, I was very scared of the sexual act. Like, I was scared of doing it with like men. I was nervous, I was scared, and that's why I didn't have a lot of partners, but I chose to have this one partner just because I was like, okay, I could still be a teenager and I could still, talk to other guys and go to parties and stuff, and he's not bothering me. But then when I need something, he's there, you know what I mean? So it was like the best of both worlds. So it's bringing up funny memories. Okay, so then so I wasn't like very like promiscuous, you know what I mean? But I had this man like fulfilling what I needed him to fulfill. And ultimately I get pregnant by him, and it's almost as if I have these like two lovers. Like, it's almost as if I have this guy on the outside that people see me around and people see me with, and people see like us kind of like flirty, and I'm kind of around, and he just so happens to live in back of me, and I just so happen to get pregnant. Like, it all kind of lines up. So people, after I tell people that I'm pregnant, well, after my biological mother tells people that I'm pregnant, people start to get to assuming who's the baby's father. He must be the baby's father. Like, who else could it be? And I was so scared to say who it was, because I'm just like, I shouldn't have even been fooling around with this man. Like, he is older than me, not crazy older, not like 40, not like 30, like middle 20s. Not middle 20s, but like early 20s. And I'm 19, and I started fooling around with him when I was 17. I'm scared as fuck, okay? I'm scared as fuck. I'm pregnant. Nobody knows I'm fooling around with this man. First thing, I was going in I was scared. I was crying. I ultimately like prayed to God. One night I had this epiphany. I prayed, and like, God really spoke to me, and God really just told me like everything's gonna be okay. And literally I was bawling my eyes out. And once I was like praying with all my heart, like all my tears just went away. Like it was so crazy, you guys, like so crazy. Like, my tears literally dried up within like seconds of me just praying, crying. And I felt like this sense of like, you're gonna be all right. Like, you're gonna be okay. Like, relax, chill. You got this. And I was just like, wow, really? Wow, I got this. So, I just, after that, I was just like, you know what? Start planning what you gonna do, girl. Because you got no job. You're living at your parents' house. You gotta start planning. So, I ultimately like started planning everything I was gonna do, like what doctor I'm gonna go to. I'm gonna walk to the doctor, I'm gonna take the bus, like this is what I'm gonna do. This is like, you know what I mean? Like, sign up for WIC, get that WIC, girl, get that free cheese and that free egg, and I started taking responsibility, okay? But still, people were still guessing who is the baby daddy, like who is this person. And even who's the baby's father, and I was just like, you know what, I gotta let it out. Like, I gotta tell people who my baby daddy is. So I was just like, okay, this is the baby's father. And I told people. I told my biological mother first because she had a big ass mouth. So I knew she was going to take care of the dirty work, just like I did in the beginning. And she was like, what? Like, literally, I remember her just being like, what? No, mija. No, like, not. Ooh, like, I can't believe it. And I was just like, yeah, pretty much. And then she was like, I thought it was so and so. I thought it was, I'm just gonna say his name. I thought it was Isaiah. Like she said, because you know he's no longer with us, so he's not gonna like call me up and be like, or he might come to me in my dreams and be like, I heard you talking about me on YouTube. But you know, like, I used to wish that it was his. You know, I used to wish, because I thought like things probably would have been much easier, and he probably would have been a great father. He never had children. He passed. You know, he was around, actually he was around the same age as my baby's father. He was around the same age. I think maybe a year younger. So I don't know. Sometimes I kind of wish it was his baby, just because I mean, it wouldn't have been easier because he's not here anymore. So that kind of like, it's kind of messed up. But then again, I thought like, you know, but I thought like his mom would have been really happy and she would have helped me and stuff like that. But why I still get emotional about it, I'm just a very emotional person. Like, I just am. Like, I go back there. Like, I really go back to that moment and to the way I felt. So it just brings up like crazy emotions. But I think sometimes I think like, if it was his baby, like, he probably would have still been here. But my real baby's father, he ended up, you know, getting locked up and stuff, and you know, not being there my whole pregnancy either. So, but you know, I never want to talk bad about him. Like, I never want to, like, I really never want to talk bad about him. Like, I say the truth. I just say lies. Like, even though I don't have any more feelings for this guy. I mean, I actually have a story that I put on private, that I say some, you know, I say like, I don't know if I have it on private or not. I think I still have it on private, or I say a story about how I met him and stuff. But I put it on private because he is like out of prison and stuff. So I don't want him to running into that shit. Even though I have no feelings for him anymore, and you know, that was the past. I still, and even though he wasn't there, I still like have no bad feelings about him. I have no harsh bad feelings. It's just like, that's life, and it is what it is. So, you know, there was still speculation, and that's why I wanted to tell this story, because it's crazy how there's still speculation that my daughter was, you know, Isaiah's. And there was a point where I had a birthday for my daughter, and my biological mother came, and this is one of the reasons why I stopped talking to her. Like, the scenes she would make, okay? So even though I had told my biological mother that this is my baby's father, this is who I'm pregnant by, she still wanted to believe that it was Isaiah's baby. So, you know, after Isaiah passed after I had the baby. She was a little tiny baby. And because my baby father wasn't there, his mother was like, asked me a couple of times, and I was like, no, 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 like, that's not his baby. And so I'm having a birthday for my daughter, and his mother's there. Her son is passed, and my biological mother has the fucking nerve to pull her aside and tell her that my daughter is Isaiah's. Are you serious, lady? How are you going to do this to this lady? How are you going to do this to this lady that just lost her son? Like, no, don't do that. That's not right. That's not fucking right. So I'm having the birthday for my baby. Like, I'm busy doing this and doing that. And his mother comes up to me and is like, is this Isaiah's baby? Is this Isaiah's baby? And I'm like, no. Why would... I'm like, I didn't say no, but I was just like, no, like, it's not, you know, why are you saying this? And then she's like, well, your mother just told me that. And this lady's crying. This lady is crying with tears in her eyes. Her son just passed, never had children, and is like coming up to me telling me, is this his baby? Crying with tears in his eyes. I just got so upset. I was like, where is she? Where is she? I go up to her and I'm like, how fucking dare you? How dare you fucking do that? I did love this man. This man was something special to me. But he's not the father of my baby. This woman just lost her son. We all lost him. And you're going to put this type of hope in her heart? That's fucked up of you. So, and I was just like, you got to go. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. And she, you know, kind of was like, did this whole little fucking scene. And I was just like, I don't give a fuck about your scene. Peace out. So she got kicked out, and she wonders why she don't get invited places, because she does shit like that, and nobody expected less from her, or nobody expected more from her, or whatever the fucking whatever the scene is. But you know, I guess like there's really no moral of the story, and it's just like, that's what it was. And I know who my baby father is. I've never been a promiscuous person or a promiscuous girl. I know who my baby's father is, and I know Isaiah is not my baby's father because we never were together intimately. We had like an intimate connection, like soulmates. Like, I do believe that we were soulmates, but I don't believe that, but we never were together intimately. And even though I wish, like, you know, he would have been here maybe if he had a baby, and he still would have been here, you know. But with that being said, I hope you guys like this story. I hope it makes sense. I don't know. I'm gonna look over this video. I'm gonna edit this video, you know, edit a few little mess ups that I did. But I hope that it all came together and crazy ass shit. But I love you guys. Stay chunky because chunky is beautiful. If you do like this video, you know, let me know in the comments. You know, I do little story times here and there. A lot more to come. I love you guys. Stay chunky because chunky is beautiful. Peace out.